My husband keeps breaking boundaries with his ex. Even our friends are mad.
Oh, even the friends are mad. You know you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, he's in the wrong here. I, 37 female, have been with my husband, male 39, for 15 years. We will call him Jake. When we first met, he told me a story about some girlfriend he had in middle school who broke his heart and how that impacted his life. A girl in middle school impacted your life?
Maybe it was like really like a Fault in Our Stars type stuff.
Within the first few months of meeting, I hear this story. She apparently drops out of high school, so he's not interacted with her at all during our relationship. By the way, this comes from Acceptable Income 40 on the OKstorytime subreddit. So about 4 years ago, we run into her at a local bar, and he's apparently over it. To emphasize what a big deal this was, he had friends that I had known the whole relationship that quit speaking to this girl in middle school and had continued not speaking to her out of respect for him. Middle school drama, I know. But real adults were avoiding her because of him.
How old are these people?
They're 37.
What?
Now, suddenly the source of his woman trauma. She was a girl. You can't even say woman trauma. She was a girl. She was a girl.
Woman trauma, yeah.
Is back in the picture, and I'm uncomfortable. For the first few years, she was everywhere our friend circle was, out of nowhere. And it became apparent that my husband, Jake, was inviting her out. There was so much flirting. If she was there, all of his attention and jokes were on her. She was really sweet, but I never felt like she wanted much to do with me. Of course, she's trying to steal your man. On his birthday 3 years ago, my other friend got angry with his attention on her and led me out of the building because it was so obnoxious. Last summer, another friend pointed out to him and to me that she was not good for our relationship because of how close and flirty they were. Why is everyone aware of how flirty they were and OP's still in this relationship?
Yeah, you're like 3 years in?
Yeah, and they're flirting a lot. That night, he texted her about where he had moved to in the bar we were at, and not me. I was standing right next to her. I finally broke and said that I was very uncomfortable and that I would need to have boundaries around this. Why did this take you so long? He continued to speak to her, mostly without me knowing. This summer, 2 of his friends said some odd things that indicated he was very close to her now. It was like, if you want to know what's going on with her, talk to Jake. And oh yeah, she gave us so many rides home from the bar.
What happened to the actively avoiding this person?
I think that's why the friends are upset. They're like, dude, we've been actively avoiding her for 30 years.
Yeah, why are you...
Why are you getting with... Why are you talking to her?
Is this just like a deep-seated, like, oh, this is the one girl that got away and I need to get her back?
He gets excited about some hip-hop song and they need to talk about it. I did not grow up on hip-hop, so I don't know all the songs. And I guess that's an issue. He did say that he has set better boundaries with her, but I think there's some emotional issue going on. Yes! Girl, wake up!
I'm not sure if it's my lack of hip-hop knowledge or he's secretly in love with this girl.
They're flirting a lot, but I don't know if that means anything.
I think I just need to listen to Nas.
He still comes home after 10 p.m. and she's the one who is on the phone. I will say that I think they had some kind of conversation because she's less flirty with him.
And this is going to backfire because now you've turned it into the forbidden fruit.
Yeah, now they want it. Now they want it even more.
It's going to make it worse.
Last night, he stumbled into the house after 11 p.m. after I was unable to get a hold of him. I had made him the dinner he requested earlier and put it away and gone to bed when I hear some strange music.
So, OP, you haven't learned anything about rap music, I see.
Clearly not. It was him and her playing music to each other and reminiscing.
In the house? Wait.
In your guys' house?
No. Like, that's with a phone, right? There's no way he snuck his middle school
girlfriend,
lover into your home.
He wanted to know if he should go to therapy, and she said it would be okay, but that they both had such complex issues, and that he could call her whenever, and she would always pick up. Then, him being wasted, started fantasizing what would have happened if they had stayed together in middle school. You guys probably would have broken up. What is this? It's so strange. On one hand, I appreciate that she's cool to flirting, but it should never have been there.
Whoa. She hasn't cooled anything. She's having drunk conversations with your husband at 11 at night. What?
I told him that I don't think the conversations with her from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. is appropriate. He thinks I'm being crazy because they were talking, mostly about him needing to go to therapy, and she gets him. I think it's a bunch of BS, personally.
Yeah.
He has so many friends, and I have been very clear that I tried to befriend her, and it did not go well. Then the open flirting and her being out with him when I was not. He says they're close because of their childhood. Both had bad childhood experiences and they experienced them together. Am I thinking that there is an emotional connection and I'm the third wheel because I felt like I was on their date?
Yeah, exactly.
You are. You are the third wheel. 100%.
At this point,
Yeah.
he should be talking to you about going to therapy.
Why is he talking to this girl that he dated in middle school? She also is fairly new, last 4 years out of 15, and I'm not sure what to do with this. Last
They've
4
been together
years?
for 15 years.
15 years, but she's been flirting, and you're just kind of like passively asking him to stop. It seems like you're like, hey, don't do that.
I
And
think
he's
I
like,
get it,
"Meh."
though. I think if I'd been with someone for 11 years...
Yeah.
And then they started being like extra chummy with like, oh, my middle school crush that embarrassed me. Like, and we weren't ever going to speak ever again. I'd be like, there's no universe.
Yeah.
And I'm being crazy. I don't need to care about that. That's never going to happen, right?
This is where I may be the a-hole. I told him that I asked for boundaries and I feel that they are still being broken. So I told him that I'm not sure how to continue on in our relationship if she is a necessary part. You're not the a-hole!
Oh, no.
You're not the a-hole, OP!
You're so, such a, what a softie.
Oh.
You're like, I might be wrong for
tried to
setting
set
a boundary.
I am not handling her being around well at all, and I have made my feelings very clear. He says all his energy and resources go to me, but this is a very strange connection. I do think he needs to go to therapy. We have been discussing it for a while, so I like that. But I don't like how she has to sign off on it because they get each other. It could be just friends thing now, but I'm not sure.
Oh, no.
It's not.
Kimberly Fine just might.
He has girl and guy friends, so that's not the issue. It comes down to their behavior and how it made me uncomfortable, and I'm not sure if I'm the a-hole for telling him to cut it off. And there is an update.
26 years.
Thank you for the feedback. Obviously, there are many layers to a story and relationships that can't be examined from an emotional post where I was clearly questioning my perspective and instincts. Some extra background to clarify a few things before I get into what is happening next. I really found the Darvo info useful, and I am well aware how easy it is to connect over issues to someone outside the relationship because it's easy. It's like going on vacation to Disneyland because the person isn't living the hard stuff with you, and they are solely there to validate you because they don't have the entire picture. His high school friend circle is very close, and all the wives that have married in agree that it's strange and unusual. They are all friends, know what's going on with one another, and remember multiple classes and people from high school. Wow, that's crazy. I met a stepmom at our kids' sporting event, and her husband was 2 years behind mine, and she said the same about their friend circle / school area. Think 75 to 100 graduating kids.
Yep, small town.
It's gotta be a small town.
Tiny, teeny, weeny town.
And they know each other and have started hanging out again like there was no 20-year gap. It's a very strange dynamic to say the least, but that's why I didn't immediately see red flags. That, and I didn't think a crush from age 13,
Boom, right on the money.
nailed it, was or would be an issue. We did speak, and he genuinely apologized after calming down for making me feel uncomfortable, and because he acknowledged there was flirting, and it usually comes with drinking. This was weekend number 2, where he was up late talking to her since last summer that I'm aware of. I said no contact and couples counseling because I do think this got way out of control beyond what I'm aware of. I think 2021, it was probably deeper than I know, so we'll see what happens. I agree there is an attention and validation issue. Hopefully he gets help regardless of what I decide to do. We're dealing with all of his grandparents passing within a month of each other and a DUI. Wow. He's not in the right headspace at the moment and he does need help, but that's becoming not my problem. I did read the messages. I'm not going to go into detail, but I was able to retrieve deleted messages. This convo was very normal and friendly, supportive, but he was wasted and was going back to 13 and it was him, all him reminiscing. While I would call most of their conversations normal, I don't think his is always innocent. Well, he's the one who said, what if we were still together?
Yeah, that's not innocent, dude.
That's the opposite. And they're unnecessary. He has friends that gave him the same advice she did, and it's well established that she's newer to the friend circle now, and him deciding that they bond over their childhood trauma is absurd at age 40. We all had trauma. It was awful. Time to deal with it with a professional, not the source of the woman trauma. By the way, we would never be the source of your trauma. You know what? You need us every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Just tap our profile.
Just give it a tap. We might be live right now, for real. A 40-year-old man.
40-year man's obsessed with with his 13-year-old love.
He needs therapy.
Before even reading these posts yesterday, I decided it was no contact or me. It should not have ever been at a point where I felt left out of my relationship, and it should have been respected on both sides, more his. I have not said anything to her because these are his choices I'm dealing with, but I'm not above it if it gets to that. Long story short, this isn't a friendship that needs to continue. I can't control either of them, so I'll be making my choices based on what's best for me.
Okay, boom. That's perfect.
And that's the end. I think OP's just kind of realized after 4 years, you know what? I'm just going to do what's best for me.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
And if that means leaving
any
him,
given moment.
Then yeah, that's the answer.
Unless there's kids involved, and you got to do what's best for the kids.
Yeah, and then we have to think about it a little
bit more. Think of that with the kids.
Mm-hmm. But that's the end of that story. And for anyone just jumping in now, TLDR, basically OP has been married to this man for 15 years. And for the past 4 years, he has been reconnecting with his childhood middle school girlfriend, who I guess they had some shared childhood trauma. But the breakup in middle school was so bad that he made his friends go actively avoid her for how many
for their entire lives.
Yeah, whole lives, over 20 years. And now they're reconnecting and flirting, and OP's like, this is weird. I don't know how to feel about this. And now his friends are like, hey, their relationship is inappropriate. Yeah. And OP's like, I don't know what to do.
The flirting evolved over 4 years.
And finally, OP's like putting her foot down, saying this is not acceptable. The boyfriend's kind of trying to gaslight her a little bit, but finally seems to be maybe coming around saying, you're right, I was flirting because whenever I drink, we flirt. I shouldn't be doing that.
A cop out.
Yeah, and so OP's saying, you know what? I'm giving in an ultimatum. It's either no contact with his childhood girlfriend or you lose me.
Yeah.
And
I think there should be a therapy clause on there as well.
Yeah, you need therapy and also to go no contact with his girl.
He needs to figure out why his brain is doing this to him.
Yeah, but that's the end of that story. So let's get into the next one.
On to the next.